What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to Grim. Today we're meeting someone that has a rather unique phobia. That's right, this woman is afraid of food in general. Like, she literally eats almost nothing except for a few things that don't scare her to her core. Kinda crazy, right? I mean, I bet most of you had thought you had outlandish fears before this, but being afraid of food in general is not something that I have ever heard of. So let's just jump into it and meet this woman, shall we?
I start thinking, if I eat this, it's going to make me ill. Picking up a bit of food and just trying to get it near my mouth, I feel like I've run a marathon.
Oh, it feels like running a marathon just to get a bite of food into her mouth. Wow, I honestly wish I hated food that much. It's like the opposite for me, you know, not putting food into my mouth feels like running a marathon. Me and her should maybe switch places. But tell me why she's got a phobia of food and this man is pulling out what looks to be supermarket porridge or something. Like, dude, if your girl has an issue with eating food, maybe start with something at least nice to look at and taste, like pizza, or not this weird container of mush that you found on the discount aisle of the supermarket.
There's a lot of people in the world can just be picky with food and don't like some things. With this, it's more of an anxiety-based disorder.
Okay, so she's not allergic or anything. I mean, I'm glad we're getting that out of the way at least. It's more of like a psychological thing more than anything here. But basically, she might have a bit of like anxious feelings when it comes to food, and when it comes time to actually eat, she has a really difficult time because all of her anxiety is just being manifested into this fear of food. It's like that one dude that couldn't stop burping. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that video, but it went viral and he had the same thing where he just could not stop burping, and it was because he was anxious and his brain made him burp to relieve stress, I guess.
The vast majority of Jill's meals simply consist of bread and a soft drink.
I've not had a hot meal. Closest as I get is toast.
Dude, she's out here eating like it's the year 200 or whenever bread was invented. Imagine only eating white toast with nothing on it and a drink to accompany that. I mean, that must be terrible. If it's all that she can eat, though, without having to gag all the time, I mean, I guess that's good. You know, it's better than nothing, obviously, because you would not be around very long if you didn't eat. But sheesh, that would be a boring existence if literally all that you could ever eat was just straight up bread.
Like, seriously, I've never used a knife and fork. I've never had a hot meal.
Well, that's some lies right there. I mean, she just said she's never used a knife and then uses it to spread butter onto her toast, literally the shot after that. I don't know if the editors did that on purpose, but they just kind of exposed her here. You know, maybe nothing she says from here on out can ever be true, apparently.
Even my safe foods, they have to be certain brands. The juice, it's always Robinson's apple and blackcurrant, Red Bull, or Relentless.
Okay, so she has a phobia of food, but now she's got a full pantry full of stuff, and apparently she just eats, you know, certain brands. She's kind of bougie about it. Am I being trolled by Barcroft right now? Because the title is pretty opposite of what I've seen so far. I mean, this isn't a person that has a phobia of food, it's just some lady that's extremely picky about the brands she uses. I mean, I know tons of people like that. It's like the people that only wear designer clothes because they need the best of the best. Look, I get it. This lady isn't afraid of food. She's just afraid of, you know, non-quality food, I guess.
The thing with acid, it quite often, it's weird to explain, but it just shuts off your throat. It's like just a shutter comes down at the front of my throat and I'm like, I can't eat this, I can't swallow this.
Alright, I obviously was joking about her not having a phobia earlier, guys. I'm not that insensitive. To be honest though, the more she talks about it, the sadder I get for her, because I mean, it's really not her fault if you think about it. Really, it's more her brain that is deciding if she's able to like swallow a bite of food or not, and when she gets this mental block going, it's kind of hard to counteract that. When she gets anxious, it makes it way worse too. Like, she just said it legit makes it to where she cannot swallow any food at all. Like, that's gotta be so infuriating, man. And then when you start thinking about it, you get even more psyched out. It's like when you do something cringy earlier in the day, and you just lay in bed thinking about it, and it gets worse and worse in your head. That's probably what her relationship with food is like. Like, the more aggravated she gets about not being able to eat normally, the harder it gets to actually eat.
But at times, you know, we've been out, we've maybe tried to go for something to eat, and you know, you do get some weird looks from people, sort of, you know, are you being serious? You just want a bread roll.
Yo, this guy is a genius though. I mean, she's officially like the easiest date of all time. You can just go to the restaurant and her whole meal is just gonna be the bread that they give you before the food even comes out. That way, you know, you're still going on a nice dinner date with your girl, but then you only have to pay for one meal. I mean, that's straight up 200 IQ right there. I see you, man. You're making moves.
So there is a lot of foods that Jill can't actually be in the same room as. If I've got a slight bit of tomato sauce on the chips or near her, or she even sees it, it can cause severe fear, anxiety, panic attacks.
Yo, this Heinz, this bottle of Heinz is straight up destroying this woman's life. Oh, I mean, my little sister used to be like that with mayonnaise. Like, she was so afraid of the texture that it just grossed her out to even be in the same room with it. And I don't understand, like, is your brain tells you what it tastes like, and then when you look at it and you hate it so much, it just makes you gag? Like, I don't understand that. All I know is this lady would not be able to go to almost any restaurant in the US because they keep those ketchup bottles on deck, bruh. Like, at each table, she would just have a field day with that.
I can hold a bottle if it's brand new, not been opened, and it's not got anything on it.
How are you feeling just now, though?
Oh, the ball's in my stomach. The ball of panic.
Okay, apparently as long as the seal has not been popped on the bottle, she's fine. But just the acknowledgement that the bottle has been opened and there could be even a possibly, tiny little particles of ketchup on the bottle, that scares her enough to where she can't even be in the same room as this thing. That is next level fear of food, honestly. Like, I totally believe her now because, I mean, who would be this extra just for attention, you know? Like, this is someone that is seriously dealing with something here. I fully believe her now.
Yeah, the panic starts going right up
already,
to the throat. Yeah, it's not good.
Not good? You
No.
can't hold it like that?
No, my hands are...
Nope.
This dude is low-key ruining this lady's day. I mean, this ketchup bottle is like her kryptonite. It's just the thought of it sharing the same oxygen or sharing the same room as her has her freaking out, dude. Like, this must be absolutely debilitating to deal with on a daily basis. And it's not even just ketchup. This is just an example for her. I mean, I want to confirm with you guys that, I may be joking about this throughout the video, but I don't want any of you to take it as me making fun of her, because I'm not. It's just so outlandish and unique and kind of weird, that you have to kind of take a step back and joke about it, because I've legit never seen someone react to a bottle of ketchup this violently. Like, she hates this thing.
Over the years, the pubs I've worked in, a lot of them's done like snacks and even some types of crisps, just because I will stand the whole time retching as soon as someone opens a packet.
All right, I'm sorry if you're afraid of food, but you need to not work in the food industry then. Like, yeah, you're a bartender, so you are mainly serving drinks, I guess. But of course, that comes with the territory of bar food, where you literally have the most amazing greasy food ever, and she probably has a really tough time with that. Like, why would you willingly submit yourself to that if you know that you have a fear of food? Why would you work in a place where you're surrounded by food all day, every day, and it's all you can think about? Work somewhere else where you don't have to be near it day in and day out, and you would probably be a lot happier. Hey, you guys made it pretty far into this video, so before we continue, I'd like to challenge you to see if you can like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell in the next 5 seconds. And if you can, you will be rewarded with the ability to make food as if it was cooked up by a professional chef. Seriously, you could have some food that is like nasty sludge like that guy showed us in the intro, and it would taste like something whipped up by the dude from Ratatouille. Anyways, on with the rest of the video.
This is tuna and sweet corn pasta salad.
No.
Which you're getting annoyed with me just by sniffing.
Yeah.
Wow, turns out this weird paste food that this guy brought out is a tuna and pasta salad. Please name a more terrible looking, smelling, and textured food. Like, this man is pulling all the strings trying to give this woman a hard time. Seriously, man, you could have whipped up like a PB&J sandwich. I mean, that is pretty calm, and it helps her because she already rocks with bread, So you're trying to go way too hard right now is all I'm trying to say. This man's basically attempting to teach algebra to a second grader. Like, let them get their addition and subtraction tables down first, you feel? This lady is still only eating bread. She's not just gonna jump to tuna and pasta salad. Oh my god, dude, you can see her spiraling into like an almost panic attack. This is so crazy to see. This man's busting open straight up terrible smelling tuna pasta that could probably make the average person feel grossed out. But now he's opening it right in front of his girlfriend that already has a terribly crippling fear of food. I mean, you guys saw how she reacted to that ketchup. She's obviously not gonna enjoy this at all. Like, yikes, that is really not the best choice to be doing right now, dude.
I don't know if I could ever have a kid, because I can't go near a kid if it's covered in food. Well, how am I meant to be a mother if I can't feed my own child?
Oh, okay, now it's getting into like extra sad territory. I didn't even think of that, yo, but think of how gross babies are. Like, she would not be able to handle even feeding like baby food to her child because it looks exactly like that tuna salad. And then you got the baby itself making a mess with the food. Like, yeah, that would just be an all-around bad experience for her and her kid if they were involved. Kind of breaks my heart though, because this is out of her control, and now she's being robbed of the opportunity to raise a family because of it. So apparently this dude that she's talking to right now is one of the leading counselors and specialists when it comes to her disorder. I forget what she called it earlier, but again, is basically a form of anxiety where you develop this massive, crazy fear of food. And according to her, this guy is really smart when it comes to this stuff, and he has helped tons of people in the past overcome this crazy phobia of theirs to where they can begin living normal lives again and, you know, eating food that they would have never been able to even sit in the same room as before. I really do hope things end up well for her though. Anyways, that's gonna do it for today's video. Let me know what you thought down in the comments, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, peace out.